Here are today's top stories. Malacanang says no pardon will be given to the cops who were convicted in the killing of Kian de los Santos. Government prosecutors file new tax-related charges against online news platform Rappler. The LTFRB extends the distribution of fuel subsidy cards to jeepneys until December 15. And employees of Malacanang lead an outreach program for cancer patients.
Good day, I'm Pia Rosas Morato. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Malacanang has welcomed the guilty verdict on 3 policemen involved in the killing of Kian de los Santos. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo assures that President Rodrigo Duterte will not pardon the 3 cops as the administration will not tolerate any abuse of the law. Panelo stressed that the president himself recommended the relief and prosecution of the 3 cops. He adds that the verdict proves that the justice system has the power to prosecute criminals. Meanwhile, DILG Assistant Secretary Jonathan Malaya reminded law enforcers to strictly adhere to the rule of law and respect human rights. For its part, PNP spokesperson Benigno Durana Jr. maintained that there is no extrajudicial killing under the Duterte administration. The Caloocan RTC found PO3 Arnel Oares, PO1 Jeremias Pereda, and PO1 Jerwin Cruz guilty of killing De Los Santos last August and sentenced them to reclusion perpetua. The country celebrates today Bonifacio Day, the 155th birth anniversary of revolutionary and Katipunan founder Andres Bonifacio. Wreaths from President Rodrigo Duterte, Manila Mayor Joseph Estrada, and other officials were offered at the Bonifacio Shrine in Manila. A similar ceremony led by the Caloocan City government was held at the Bonifacio Monumento Circle. Other commemorative events were also held in various areas dedicated to Bonifacio, such as the Bonifacio Shrine in Balintawak and Plaza Bonifacio in Pasig City. On the other hand, labor groups and militants gathered in Mendiola to stage protests in commemoration of Bonifacio Day. Meanwhile, as a service to visitors, the Ayala Museum gave free admission to its dioramas of Philippine history and diorama virtual reality experience. More troops have been deployed to Samar to quell lawless violence in the province. AFP spokesperson Edgar Arevalo says 2 infantry battalions have been sent to Samar after confirming the need to reinforce troops there. Last week, Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea issued Memorandum Order Number 32 in amid reports of sporadic acts of violence allegedly committed by lawless groups. The memorandum called for the immediate deployment of additional military and police forces, particularly in Samar, Negros Oriental and Occidental, and Bicol region. He added that the number of military personnel to be deployed in Negros Oriental, Negros Occidental, and Bicol region are still being reviewed. 7 Las Piñas policemen surrendered to authorities after they were tagged in a robbery extortion against a relative of a drug suspect. NCRPO Guillermo Eleazar says they will face a criminal case of kidnapping with serious illegal detention and an administrative case for grave misconduct. He vowed that the NCRPO will continue weeding out scalawags in the ranks. The 7 cops were assigned to the Las Piñas City Police Station Drug Enforcement Unit. The 7 policemen attempted to extort money from the relative of a drug suspect identified as Cyrus Wency. A joint police force arrested a minor who worked for them in an entrapment operation, but the 7 eluded arrest. The Defense Department reports that the next AFP chief has been selected. Meanwhile, the LTFRB extends the distribution of fuel subsidy card to jeepney drivers. More on these and other news around the metro from Janice Cave.
Outgoing AFP Chief of Staff General Carlito Galvez's replacement has already been selected. Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana hints that the officer comes from the Philippine Army, although he will let President Rodrigo Duterte make the announcement himself. Galvez is scheduled to retire from active military service on December 12, on his 56th birthday. Meanwhile, the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board gives public utility jeepney operators and drivers until December 15 to claim their Pantawid Pasada fuel subsidy cards. This is to give franchise holders enough time to comply and submit documentary requirements. More than 66,000 fuel subsidy cards were distributed to beneficiaries across the country since the program was launched in July. Other news, the Light Rail Manila Corporation has contracted the services of private company Comsec for the 100 million peso upgrade of the CCTV system of the LRT1. LRMC President and CEO Juan Alfonso says the new system will make crowd monitoring more effective. This will also later on feed into an automated system that will inform passengers which stations are heavy, moderate, or light and help them plan their trips better. The upgrade, which consists of about 500 new cameras, is expected to take 2 years to complete. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Still to come, government prosecutors file new tax-related charges against online news platform Rappler. The Department of Health steps in to track on ongoing measles outbreak in Sarangani. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues. State prosecutors have filed before the Pasig City Regional Trial Court a new complaint for tax law violations against online news organization Rappler chief Maria Ressa. Prosecutors accuse Rappler Holdings Corporation of failure to supply correct information in its quarterly value-added tax return for the second quarter of tax year 2015. RHC reportedly failed to report the quarterly sales from the issue and sale of Philippine depository receipts worth 2.54 million pesos. The transaction made by RHC has a dealer in securities to NBM Rappler resulted in unpaid taxes of 294,000 pesos due to the government excluding surcharge and interest. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas is expecting a lower inflation rate from the 6.7% rate last September and October. The BSP Department of Economic Research said the appreciation of the peso contributed to their projection of slower inflation. The peso improved against the US dollar and traded at the 53 level from 54 level a few weeks back. The price of rice also declined following the directive from Malacanang for NFA to immediately release its rice stocks from its warehouses nationwide. These factors are seen to counter the impact of jeepney and bus fare hikes, along with the uptick in electricity rates. Authorities expect price increases to slow down following the steady rate last October. A business delegation from Japan is coming to visit next week to seek partnerships with Filipino companies. 26 small and medium-scale enterprises will hold a business matching program on December 6 and 7. This will be organized by the Philippine-Japan Economic Cooperation Committee and Japanese NGO OISCA International. The Japanese SMEs are seeking to invest in the sectors of information technology, education, manufacturing, food, agriculture, human resource, trading, energy, services construction, and real estate. Approved investments from Japanese companies rose to 12.98 billion pesos in the first semester this year from 5.45 billion in the same period in 2017. The Department of Health is monitoring suspected measles outbreak in Sarangani province, which already affected 84 persons and resulted in 18 deaths. In a statement, the DOH explained that the ages of the suspected measles cases range from 4 months to 40 years, and majority of them are female. It added that only 18 of them were physically checked up by a physician, while the rest were based on verbal accounts. All of the suspect cases reportedly have no history of measles. A team of health professionals earlier conducted massive measles vaccination and treatment of affected residents. The team was able to vaccinate nearly 300 children with measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine. The Army condemns an attack on soldiers doing community service in northern Samar. Meanwhile, farmers in Palawan report bigger harvests from hybrid rice. More on these stories from the provinces from Janice Cave.
The Philippine Army condemned the attack on 2 soldiers tasked to do community work in conflict-stricken villages in Las Navas, northern Samar. Members of the New People's Army Special Partisan Unit or SPARU reportedly shot the 2 soldiers while buying food in San Miguel village. The Army's 8th Infantry Division, based in Tatbalogan City, says the attack is proof that communist rebels are anti-development. In Palawan, farmers report that they increased their yields between March and September using hybrid rice seeds. The provincial government recorded an average yield of 5.6 metric tons per hectare compared to the average yield of 3.5 metric tons from the previous season. The farmers received financial loans and hybrid seeds from the provincial government's Productivity Rice Enhancement Development Program. A new batch of 200 farmers is now planting the hybrid seeds for the September 16 to March 15, 2019 dry season. Meanwhile, the Tanghalan Sandaang Pulo from Pangasinan is one of the nominees for Best Cultural Theater Group in the Aliw Awards 2018. The group was formed in July last year with advocacy to help strengthen theater and the arts in the province. Among the group's major productions is the Palanca Award-winning play Baka Sakali. The Aliw Awards winner will be announced on December 13 at the Manila Hotel. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Up next, employees of Malacanang lead an outreach program for cancer patients, and esports becomes a new event in the 2019 SEA Games. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Industry Authority through the Shipyard Regulation Service or SRS bared its 10-year shipbuilding, ship repair, and shipbreaking programs at the second National Shipyard Convention held in Cebu City on November 15 to 16, 2018. The convention served as a communication node between shipyard stakeholders and the government in shaping the future of the shipyard industry. Marina SRS Director Engineer Ramon Hernandez expressed its appreciation to the Shipyard Association of the Philippines or the SHAP for its support to the Marina's shipbuilding, ship repair, and shipbreaking initiatives under the 10-year Maritime Industry Development Program or the MIDP.
The shipbuilding and ship repair will go a long way. I mean, there's a lot of projects and opportunities for them, not only in shipbuilding but also in ship repair, considering that we'll be promoting the Philippines as the global maritime hub, in Asia and in the world.
Cebu is next to Manila, or at least parallel with Manila in terms of shipping. And shipyards, they are our partners in achieving the safety, compliance, to have a better shipping, for a better future as far as IM is concerned.
Meanwhile, SHAP Chairman Beneleo Carlos III recognized the Marina's efforts to collaborate with maritime stakeholders, especially in drafting policies and formulating programs to address existing challenges in the industry.
The 10-year program, it's a great horizon. It allows you to forecast and then implement new changes. Marina's been immense help and guidance to us in terms of bringing our concerns together and making them present to the government. Certainly, we have to do our part. It's time for us to be able to offer back to them, this is the information you're asking for.
In the convention, SHAP members presented their priority agenda and concerns on shipbuilding, ship repair, and shipbreaking industries to cope up with the new memorandum circular of the Marina regarding the registration and licensing of the shipyards, including the afloat ship repairs in the Philippines. The convention also served as an avenue for clarification on some of the issues on ISO certification, including the identification of Marina-recognized organizations that will do the certification for the shipyards.
Ang regulating ng Marina ay napakaganda para sa mga shipyard talaga. Pinakamagandang commit dyan yung mga association. Ang number one dyan, kailangan magkaisa. To be united. Kailangan magtulong-tulong kung ano mga ideas nila na para ang ating shipbuilding dito sa atin ay lumago ng gusto.
The Marina right now, the way it's being run, we believe has the right direction, but it just has to be polished a little bit more. They have our full support. We are going to commit to the safety and standards that Marina wants to see. Right now, we can do it.
The Marina assured its full commitment to efficiently regulate the shipbuilding and ship repair sectors relative to the production and the construction of quality ships, especially now that the regulation requires the members to be ISO certified and guaranteed to be supportive of the ship retirement and replacement program of the Marina's domestic shipping service.
Former Bayan Muna party list Representative Saturo Campo has chosen to face charges following the arrest of his group in Davao del Norte. Ocampo and his companions will no longer question the legality of their arrest and detention. They have been given 10 days to file their counter affidavits. After undergoing booking proceedings, they will be brought back to the Talingod PNP to be detained. Ocampo, along with ACT Teacher Party List Representative Franz Castro and 72 militants, were arrested while transporting a large group of minors in Barangay Palma Hill. The group claimed they were about to rescue students of a Lumad school from alleged harassment. They were charged with trafficking, kidnapping, and child abuse. The News and Information Bureau, an attached office under the Presidential Communications Operations Office, held its 6th Bandana Galing Puso Festival. The event, held in cooperation with the Philippine Cancer Society Incorporated, served more than 100 cancer patients and elderly at the Jose Reyes Memorial Medical Center in Manila. Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission Commissioner Greco Belgica, who served as the guest speaker of the event, encouraged cancer patients not to give in to despair and serve as inspiration to others. Belgica also committed himself to facilitate their request for President Rodrigo Duterte to build a geriatric and cancer hospital. Meanwhile, the inclusion of the elderly was an initiative of NIB Director Virginia Arcilia Agtay, who said the elderly has a special place in her heart. The annual Cancer Awareness Program serves as a culminating activity of the observance of Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October. In our foreign news, New York City held its yearly lighting of the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree to celebrate the incoming holiday season. This year's featured tree is a 72-foot Norway spruce wrapped with more than 50,000 LED lights and topped with a crystal star designed by renowned architect Daniel Libeskind. This year's featured performances were from the New York City Ballet's production of George Balanchine's The Nutcracker and the Radio City Rockets, among others. The tradition of the tree lighting ceremony began in 1933 when a Christmas tree was erected in front of the then RCA building and covered with 700 lights. This year, around 800,000 people are expected to visit the tree daily. It will be lit until January 7, 2019. In sports, electronic games or esports will be included in the 2019 Southeast Asian Games. 6 gold medals will be at stake for 2 events, each in computer, mobile, and console categories. Razer, the world's leading brand in esports, will be the official partner of the Sport in the Sea Games that will be held in November next year. Moonton, the publisher behind the hugely popular title Mobile Legends Bang Bang, will also partner with Razer during the SEA Games. In a press statement, Razer co-founder and CEO Min Liang Tan said it will draw upon its expertise and experience in esports to support the SEA Games. He says they have fought for the inclusion of esports in the SEA Games as the sportsmanship and fighting spirit seen in esports is no less than that of other sports. Muslim women are traditionally known for being cast into supporting roles in society. That's not the case with the woman from Zamboanga City who is well known for her advocacies and public service. Janice Cave has the story.
The title of Lilia Macrojo Nuno's weekly radio program, Motherly Yours, is an appropriate and authentic description of her as an exceptional civic and community leader and benefactress of Zamboanga City. As a Muslim convert, her leadership is testimony of the liberal type of Islam in the Philippines, in contrast to many countries where majority of Muslim women are relegated to supine roles. Throughout her stint as a public servant, she established a reputation as a civic mother for the indigents of the city and the region. It was during her incumbency as city councilor in 2007 that she launched her radio program to better reach out to her constituents. In her program, which still runs to this day, she discusses issues of the day and conditions and affairs related to basic services. She walked her talk, regularly sponsoring medical missions to poor communities around the city. The Rural Improvement Club, where she is the executive vice president, caters to women projects aimed at raising their family's welfare. Through RIC, she has been responsible for the training of hundreds of women to go into organic farming or livelihood projects. As she goes around the city to pursue her advocacies, she is frequently approached by people she wants help, such as young professionals who were her scholars or women like her who strive to help others in their own little way. Compassion knows when it meets another compassion, and that in sum has made Nuno into the kind-hearted and hardworking achiever that she is today. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Let's take another look at today's top stories.
Malacanang says no pardon will be given to the cops who were convicted in the killing of Kian de los Santos. Government prosecutors file new tax-related charges against online news platform Rappler. The LTFRB extends the distribution of fuel subsidy cards to jeepneys until December 15. And employees of Malacanang lead an outreach program for cancer patients.
Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. And it's 25 days more to go before Christmas. That's your daily dose of the latest news and information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm Pia Roses Morato. Good day.